so quick. And now a cannon and a couple of more cannons being morphed in down here, as well as a gateway. So let's take a look at the production tab. 6 Mutalisks are on the way, and when TLO gets a little bit more money, a little bit more minerals, that he's probably going to be warping in a lot more of those. But a scary army from Satini. So many force fields able to block off this very ground-centric army of TLO. Let's take a look at the income tab. 49 harvesters actually to the mere 36 of TLO. So 3 bases up for our Protoss friend. This pylon is going to be taken out, but 3 bases up. This one not very well saturated, but of course he will be able to transfer over probes at some point. Cannons going down at the back lines of these bases. I wonder if he knows. He doesn't know anything about what LiquidTLO is doing at this point. He just assumes mass Zerglings. I keep doing that. I'm sorry. A couple more cannons going down to deal with those Zealot run-bys. Now we see that TLO is going to scout out this third base here. Looks like he might have just known about it beforehand, but he's probably going to go in and just take that out with a ton of Zealots. Sorry, Zerglings. I need to really stop doing that. A ton of Zerglings and a ton of Mutalisks actually right now. 10 Mutas out for TLO, and we see 64 probes compared to the 38 of TLO. So TLO, he does deny this base, takes that out very handily, but he's still behind in as far as economy. He does have 3 bases up, though of course he could do some nice drone pumps. Let's take a look at the production tab. Looks like he's getting a couple more drones as well as overlords. Of course you need those overlords. Flyer attacks coming out now, and these Mutalisks coming in. We don't see Mutalisks very often against Protoss. Especially when there are a couple of Stargates out. These Phoenixes are just going to counter the Mutalisks so hard, and getting the nice choke position there that TLO attacks in, not letting all of the Stalkers attack his Mutalisks at once. That was a great choke position, but of course, with so many sentries, also the Guardian Shield reducing the damage from these Mutalisks by so much, as a lot of the Muta's damage is splash damage. Maybe he should actually just take out this pylon right here to make his army a lot easier to go up and down. He also needs to have his Stalkers on a separate key than the rest of his units, probably, so that he can deal with these Mutalisks a little bit better. And now Phoenix is being pumped out. They counter Mutalisks so hard, actually. One Phoenix could basically kill an entire Muta army if microed correctly. That is not how you micro your Phoenixes against Mutas, but Muta's taking a lot of damage actually from all those Stalkers, turning around to take out those Phoenixes, to take out that one last Phoenix. And we see 20 more Zerglings and a Mutalisk being morphed in, as well as a couple of Stalkers being warped in. And they do have that blink upgrade, so they're going to be very good against these Mutas. But we do see melee attacks level 2 coming down, as well as Carapace level 2 and flyer attacks level 2 for TLO. So he's probably going to wait for these upgrades to finish before doing any sort of attack. And let's take a look back at the income tab. TLO has caught up a little bit, and he's almost even if he has less harvesters, because he does have these 3 bases functioning and our Protoss player only has the 1. Back to the production tab. Couple more Mutalisks being morphed in, as well as just a ton of Zerglings. If our Protoss buddy actually attacks in any sort of open ground, it is not going to be very good. And it looks like TLO is just going to sack this base and go in for a huge counterattack. And it looks like he's going to be able to do so much damage with so many Zerglings. A nice force field to keep that cannon alive for just a little bit more, but there are so many Mutalisks here, so many Zealot Zerglings, and forcing the Protoss to turn around and come back to defend his base. But it looks like it's going to be a little bit too late, as so many of those probes are already down. The Mutalisks turning around, fighting a little bit as these Zerglings just come in. A couple of Corruptors there to help take out these Phoenixes, and it looks like they are going to be able to take them out very easily. A nice blink there to get some more damage on these Mutalisks, and now the main is mined out completely. These Zerglings are probably going to be able to take out this. They do take it out, even with some nice force fields there from our Protoss buddy, and 18 more Zerglings on the way, and all of these upgrades just about to finish. That's going to make this army so much stronger. Of course, he did take out this hatchery for our TLO, our friend. A nice blink, getting a lot of damage there on those Zerglings and those Mutas, but is it going to be enough? This is actually a very scary army from VirusSatiini, so we're going to have to see what he is going to do. He basically needs to push out right now, as he is on He has a bunch of probes here, but they're not mining off of anything. He needs to move those over. Even long distance mining would be better at this point. So now basically getting another lair at his, I guess TLO's getting a lair for the extra hit points, I suppose, and flying around with this giant Mutaforce as 10 more Mutalisks are being morphed in right now. And Satini, you just need to turn around and push. I think you have the bigger army at this point. He does have the bigger army as far as minerals go. But of course, the longer that he waits, the more and more TLO is getting ahead, and TLO forcing him, a nice blink there to take out a couple of Mutalisks, but of course, more and more units being massed up at home. Take a look at the production tab, 4 more Mutas on the way, as well as 8 Zerglings, so just using all of his money, all of his gas to get Mutalisks, and whatever's left over, he is just getting Zerglings with it as a nice way to spend your money. And of course, since he had the 3 bases, his main is not quite mined out yet. Very, very near it, but not quite mined out yet. And of course, getting this this second expansion down. And now it's going to just be down to this fight, basically, as Satini really has nothing to fall back on. But we do see 24, 28, 29, 30 Mutalisks coming in, as well as a ton of Zerglings and some nice force fields, making those Zerglings almost completely useless, and the Mutalisks are forced to back up. But it looks like TLO is just going to have to engage with whatever he has left at this point. And it looks like here's going to be the big battle, the last final battle. Mutalisks went in such a big number. They're at such a critical mass. They're doing so much splash damage. But all of these Zealots are taking out these Zerglings very, very easily. But the Stalkers do go down. And a ton of Mutalisks still left. 24. They would have been able to take out all of these Zealots. All of these probes that had come. And that is good game. We see the good game well played from VirusSatiini. Probably hasn't seen a lot of play like that. I wish he would have used the Stargates a little bit more, as those Phoenixes are actually so good against Mutalisks. But of course, TLO had foreseen that and had gotten a couple of Corruptors mixed into his army to help out with that. So some very, very creative play coming in from LiquidTLO, just relying on very, very fast mobile units to always be what am I trying to say? Always threatening a counterattack. If you're always threatening a counterattack, you saw how many cannons were being forced down here, and in the front from Satini, and that reduced his army size significantly. And then TLO was able to just mass up behind it and then go in for a nice counterattack, forcing Satini to actually pull back. But the damage had already been done. So check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/FirexFredtv if you should so choose. And thank you guys again so much for watching.